Just make yourself comfortable. So I've got the blanket on my chair because I have longer legs and could use a taller chair. But if your legs are not so long, you'll want blankets under your feet to bring approximate 90-degree angles between your thigh bones and your shin bones. And also, if you have blocks, you can put your feet up on blocks. That might be too much height for some, but if a blanket's not enough, the blocks might work well. All right, and let's scoot a little bit forward away from the back of the chair and just pause for a moment. Don't pause the breath, just let the body pause. I had a yoga teacher once talk about the power of the pause and how we really need to pause more in our life. Pause before we speak is the big one. If people would just take a second before they react. Take a pause. But I found after he gave that talk, this was Eric Schiffman years ago, he gave that talk and he was talking about pausing before you buy something, pausing before you get dressed in the morning, like really trying to tune into your intuition and, should I wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? And, that little kind of thing, just pausing and seeing what the guidance coming to you is, what your intuition tells you to do. And sometimes it matters what shirt you wear, what shirt color you wear. And sometimes it matters if you buy the green apples or the red apples. And after he gave that little talk, I really took that to heart. And I remember being in the grocery store and I was like, oh, it was apples, green apples or red apples. And then I was in the bread section and I was actually guided to buy, like, it wasn't Wonder Bread, but it was a bread like that I would never ever have bought. And I bought it and I was thinking, God, is this to feed the ducks? Like, what is going on here? This was back in the 80s when you could still feed ducks bread, which they say not to now. And anyway, I went through the grocery store buying some odd things, I thought. And I got home and unpacked them, and like an hour later, my sister arrived with her two kids. She'd had this big fight with her husband and was going to leave him, and blah, blah, blah. And she brought her and her two kids. Well, of course, the kids only ate this kind of bread, only liked those kind of apples. So it was really powerful for me to take a pause before buying things and really asking. And, so many times now I've, of course, forgotten about it until just now, remembering this whole thing with you guys. But now I just buy the same old things. Like I was thinking the other day, gosh, I always buy the same vegetables. We should buy different vegetables. And I went looking for different vegetables, and it's like, that's all the store sells are the same old things, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. It's like all the same vegetables. There's no different vegetables. So, but I try to mix it up a little bit. All right, I'm off of all that. Sorry. So by now, hopefully you've tuned into your breath and perhaps your intuition. And even use your intuition in a class like this where, someone's telling you what to do, but pass it through your intuition and make sure that is actually okay for your body to do. And if it's not, don't do it. Listen to your intuition and do something else. You know what? I just realized I'm forgetting my sliders. Something to slide your feet on. We'll need. I think my intuition told me that. All right, let's tune into our breath. Allow the exhale to last just a little bit longer. maybe a second or two longer than your inhale. Let the exhale start from the pelvic floor and exhale up. So the pelvic floor feels like it lifts a little bit. The lower belly pulls in and up. Exhale from that very lowest part of your body up. And when you inhale, go back down to that lowest part of the body. And then we'll bring some movement on top of that breath. So keep that breath pattern going. And when you exhale, round the spine a little bit. And when you inhale, a little back bend. These are these cat-cow movements. All right, and then come to neutral. And we'll take one hand down to the side and look at the fingers or your thumb. And on the inhale, raise the arm up, eyes following the fingertips this whole time. Exhale, bring the arm across the body and touching the opposite shoulder. Exhaling. Inhale, reverse it back out. Exhale, lower it down. And then come over to the other side. Take the other hand down, eyes on the fingertips. Exhale here. On the inhale, raise the arm. Exhale, cross the body. Inhale back out. And exhale down. We'll do the same movements a couple more times and make sure that breath is that same breath pattern. Inhale, coming all the way down to the pelvic floor. Exhale from the pelvic floor back up. We'll add just a little bit more of a lateral at the start and end. So a little bit of a lateral, drop that arm down a little bit more, eyes to the fingertips. Exhale here from the pelvic floor. Inhale up. Exhale, cross, opposite shoulder. Exhale from the pelvic floor. Inhale down to the pelvic floor. Exhale from the pelvic floor. A little lateral. And come back to neutral. Other side. A little extra lateral there. Eyes to the fingertips. Exhale from the pelvic floor. Inhale, the arm raises. Cross from the pelvic floor. Exhale. Inhale back out. Inhaling down to the pelvic floor. Exhale into the lateral. All right, back to the first side. One more time each side, really concentrating on breathing all the way down on the inhale to the pelvic floor, and on the exhale from the pelvic floor. Let the pelvic floor lift first, and then exhale, continuing on up. Exhale here. Inhale up. From the pelvic floor. Inhale back down. From the pelvic floor, exhale. And last time on the other side. A little extra lateral there. Exhale. Inhale, come on up. From the pelvic floor. Back out. Exhale from the pelvic floor. And to neutral. All right, we're going to do sort of a marching in place with that pelvic floor breath leading the way. So inhale down to the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, let the pelvic floor lift first, and that starts or helps the knee lift. That's your exhale. Inhale it back down. Other side, exhale first from the pelvic floor and then lift the leg. And back down, the inhale. And going back and forth side to side with your breath at your pace of your breath. So I might be going too slow or too fast for you. You adjust it to your breath. Let's do maybe 3 or 4 each side. It's better if the movements are slow and controlled rather than just quickly marching in place. Better for the health of the pelvic floor, that is. And so in general, this is why it's important to sync the breath up. You know, the inhales when I'm saying inhale, exhales when I'm saying exhale. I know that's difficult when you're following along and my breath pace isn't always matching yours. So we do the best we can in a classroom situation, but when you're, after you've done these movements, like if you watch this video again and we're repeating this, you already know the movements and the way the breath is synced up. So you just go at your own pace as soon as you hear what's next. Okay, now I've got my feet on the sliders. Let me just tip that camera down a smidge more. And so if you're on a hard surface, you might want a towel or a blanket down there to slide your feet on. I'm on a carpet, so paper plates, or I've got furniture sliders. And I've got large furniture sliders, which are about the size of my foot almost. I'm going to place my just the heel on and stretch my leg out and toward as straight as it's willing to go, and then back in. And the breath work is that's your inhale, so that's breathing all the way down to the pelvic floor. Exhale from the pelvic floor first, and then pull the leg in. And we'll do out and in the front a couple of times, and then start to head out to the side, and then we'll do come back up and do the other leg. And we're gonna pause somewhere in there and add some point and flex. So you go at your pace. Inhale out. Exhale from the pelvic floor first, and then the leg pulls in. And by now, let's head out to the side. All right, find one of those spokes out there, maybe partway out, that feels comfortable for you to stay on. Go out on the inhale and then point and flex during the exhale. A couple of times, or as long as your exhale lasts. And then inhale and circles, ankle circles as you exhale, a couple of times in each direction. Inhale there. Exhale from the belly. and the leg pulls in. And you can take it out and in, working your way back up to the top a couple of times. When you get back up to the top, maybe go out and in at the top a couple of times. And then switching sides. Do the same thing on the other side. It's good for the health of the pelvic floor if you can get this breath synced up. So keep working on that. Starting to head out on those spokes now. And then pick a spoke, not an extreme stretch for you, but somewhere in the middle there, and we'll hold there. You go out on the inhale, and as you exhale, point and flex. Inhale, ankle circles. And then work your way back up to the top. I can get all of the ankle circles, 2 in one direction and 2 in the other on one exhale. If that's difficult for you, then pause between, like go twice in one direction on one exhale, then pause and inhale, and then do the other direction on the next exhale. Working our way back up to the top now. All right, we're gonna add on. So the one we did before was kind of marching in place. We're gonna exhale the leg up, stretch the leg out, back in and down, all on the exhale. And then inhale when the legs are down on the floor. So inhale here. Exhale from the pelvic floor, leg up, stretch it out. You're still exhaling, put the foot back down. Inhale, we'll do the other side. Exhale. This is why we wanted the exhale a little bit longer. So make that exhale last longer and longer, as long as you can, as it takes to do this whole movement. And I'm doing the pacing of how quickly I take that leg out and down based on my exhale. So your leg may need to not go all the way straight, not lift as high or something like that to make it match your exhale. The important thing is that you let the exhale start from the pelvic floor first before you move the leg up. And then as much as you have exhale left, you can do the extra movements. All right, let's do a couple more times each side. Inhale here. Exhale. Move. Inhale. Exhale. Move. Inhale. One more time on one side. Inhale. And one more time on this side. All right. We're going to turn sideways in the chair. As far to the side as allows. You might be on the corner of the chair or all the way around to the side. And the leg that's toward the screen here is going to be on the slider. The other foot's just bent and ankle roughly underneath the knee. And sit on the edge of your chair so that your leg can come down in front, and you can just hold on to the chair however you like. So let that leg drop down, and you're working the knee back behind the hip socket here. So now my knee's behind. So the more you can get that knee back, the more you're going to get a stretch in the quad. And You can also stretch your heel back, and that will deepen the stretch. And you can turn the foot so the heel goes down and the toes are kind of a little bit more toward the screen. And if this angle going back is too much, take the leg a little bit forward. So you're still going to get it into a stretch in here. So, and any of those positions. Actually, let's do those first. So before we did the spokes up here, say from 12 o'clock over toward 3 o'clock, the way I'm facing anyway. And so now I'll do 3 to 6 o'clock. You might be on the other side of the clock. Same breath pattern. So when you pull the leg in, it's exhaling. Stretch the leg out on the inhale. Different spokes. You might also try turning the foot so you can get a little more inner thigh stretch if you turn your foot out. As much as your hip allows, or you can really turn the foot in and stretch the more of the heel going out. All right, and then any of those spokes that are comfortable for you to stay at, let's do that now. So working toward like a lunge position, and you can anchor that back heel down and turn toward your front foot, or front knee. And on the exhale, lean over that front knee. Inhale back up. We're going to do that again with that breath pattern. Inhale down to the pelvic floor. Exhale from the pelvic floor and then bend forward. Inhale, come back up. And let's relax the back leg anywhere. You can bring it all the way in front if you like. When we come back up, so if you lean forward to here, when you come back up, there's a habit of lifting the chin and then coming up, which can aggravate the neck. Excuse me. And so instead, I want you to feel like there's 2 strings at the back of your neck pulling you up from there. Like a mama cat being lifted by the scruff of the neck to lift the kitten up. So you're the kitten, and you're lion or tiger, or you're a house cat, whatever you are, you're being lifted by the scruff of your neck, and you just relax the rest of the body as you get pulled up by the back of your neck. Exhale from the pelvic floor, go over. So your chin more stays tucked if the back of your neck is what's going up first, not jutting the chin out. All right, let's walk it around to the other side. And adjust yourself so your leg that's toward the screen here, the foot's on the slider and that knee drops down in front of the chair. You can hold on to the chair back or the chair seat, whatever is comfortable for you. And we'll start to get that back leg doing those spokes. So any of those spokes from, in my case, 9 o'clock down to 6 o'clock, going counterclockwise. Exhale from the pelvis to bring that leg in. Inhale down to the pelvis to stretch that leg out. Some of the time the toes heading out, sort of external rotation of the thigh, getting into that inner thigh. All right, and then pick one of those spokes and turn toward your front knee and exhale over. Inhale back up and then bring the back leg in anywhere, and we'll go over this front leg a couple of times, a forward bend over the front leg, coming up from the back of the neck. Exhale from the pelvic floor. All right, And then come to face front. Get both sliders. You can hold on to the back of the chair or the chair seat behind you and bring your heels onto your sliders and stretch your legs out as straight as they're willing to go. We're going to roll the inner thighs out and back in and roll the inner thighs in toward each other. You can take your feet a little bit further apart for that. Feet in as your legs go out so your feet can slide or they can stay where they're at and going in and out. Just as much as comfortable for you. All right, and then bring the legs back in. And we'll go in and out with the breath, both legs simultaneously. Exhale from the pelvic floor in. When you inhale, imagine the nostrils, the nasal passageway. Your air comes in through the nostrils and the nasal passageway and goes to the neck, the spine, top of the neck. And you inhale down the back body. And then we're exhaling from the pelvic floor, then the belly, and up the front body. So you get that sort of circular breath pattern going. Inhale from the nose back to the top of the neck and down the spine, far down to the pelvic floor, and then exhale pelvic floor, belly, and up the front of the body as you bend your knees and bring the feet back in. Inhale. And exhale. Let the breath start first and then move. So when you inhale, I don't really start moving my legs until my breath comes down into my ribs, and then I take the legs out. It almost feels like that makes me want to take the legs out. And then when I exhale, pelvic floor, and then the belly seems to be what wants to pull my legs in. Almost like the breath is initiating the movement or telling you, now go. Let's do that one more time. Okay, let's take a sun salute next. And again, moving with the breath, that same circular breath pattern. Breathing down the back body can be difficult. So if that's not coming, then just take the breath from the top down anyway. But if you can get it to feel like it's going down the spine, you get extra credit today. All right, exhale, and then inhale down the back spine. Exhale from the pelvic floor up. Next inhale, let the arms lift as high as they want to go. Exhale from the pelvic floor, then the belly, and fold forward. Inhale down the back neck. Come back up, arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Do this one more time. Inhale down the neck and spine. Up you come, and just the arms down. All right, we'll add on for our sun salute. Building our sun salute, we'll add on a leg lift in the lunge. We're going to not use the hands for the lunge, so like we did before when we exhaled and lifted a leg. So if you need and want to use your hands, that's fine. Exhale. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, come on back up. And exhale, a leg lifts in the lunge. Inhale, put the leg back down. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up, arms up. And exhale the arms down. We'll do the lunge on the other side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Come upright, hands to the lap. Exhale, lunge. Inhale the leg back down. Exhale, fold forward. All the way up, arms up. And arms down. All right, we'll add on a little more. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Up to neutral. Lunge. Inhale the leg back down. We're going to stretch the legs out, and the hands are going to stay back behind you. On an exhale, you're going to push into the chair. Little arm strengthener, and the legs as straight as they're willing to go. And then relax back down. You can bend the knees. On the next exhale, we're going to lunge the other leg. Actually, we forgot the back bend. On an inhale, take a back bend. And exhale, back to neutral. Stretch the legs out again. Let's do the other variation of downward dog, stretching the arms up. Exhale, bring it back in. Place the feet on the floor, inhale. Exhale, lunge the other leg. Inhale, back down. Exhale, fold over the legs. All the way up, arms up, inhaling. And exhale the arms down. Let's go again. Inhale the arms up. Exhale from the pelvis, from the pelvic floor, over you go. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, leg lifts, lunge. Inhale it back down. Let's do downward dog. Stretch your legs out, pressing into the chair. A little arm strengthening work here. Exhale when you press. And then come back down to neutral. And then hands back behind you. We'll bend your knees and bring your feet back in. We'll take a back bend here on an inhale. Inhale going down to the neck. Exhale to neutral. Downward dog again. Stretch your legs out again. On an inhale, raise the arms. Exhale back to neutral. Bend your knees. Inhale here. On an exhale, lunge the other leg. Inhale back down. Exhale, fold forward. All the way up, arms up, inhaling. Exhale, arms down. So that sun salute's a nice overall body warm up, gets all the major joints of the body warmed up. Let's take some standing poses now. So turn sideways in your chair, and the leg that's toward the screen is going to pick one of those spokes, any of the back half of the spokes, and find one that's comfortable that you can turn your heel down toward the floor, all the way to the floor if that's comfortable. And then we'll turn toward the front leg. Exhale. On the inhale, raise the arms for warrior one. Turn toward the screen, and arms come to shoulder height for warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow to thigh, other hand to the hip. Stay right here. Inhale that back arm up and over. Exhale, put it in reverse, back to the hip. Inhale, come up to warrior two. Stay right here for the exhale. Inhale, turn, arms go up, warrior one. Exhale, fold over the front leg. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the back leg, and we'll work our way around to the other side. All right, set the back leg approximately the same angle that you picked on the first side, and see if that back heel will go down. And to face your front knee. Exhale. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, turning sideways, warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow to thigh, other hand to the hip. Inhale, bring that back hand up. Exhale, put it back to the hip. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale here. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, fold over the front leg. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the back leg. And work your way to center. Both of your sliders in front. And we'll take just a cat-cow movement here. Exhale from the pelvic floor, around the spine. Inhale, a little back bend. And repeat. All right, and then come to neutral. And you can have your hands behind you. We're going to stretch. You can do one or both legs at the out on the inhale, back in on the exhale. If you're doing one at a time, do 3 or 4 on one side, and then switch it over. And otherwise, we'll do about 4 to 8 with both legs. I'm going to do one more. I don't know what the count is. I think that's about 6 to 8. And then we'll repeat the cat-cow movement. We're going to add arms with it. So on the exhale, rounded spine, hands are down. And on the inhale, let the arms float out in a little back bend. Exhale, rounded spine. And the elbows will be bent throughout. So nice and soft on the arms. Exhale, back in. Okay, the movement is fluid as possible. So if a joint catches and you have a little jump along the way, see if you can make that, change the range of motion, so maybe not go as high, or change the motion somehow so it's, you avoid that place in the joint where you have that little catch in the joint that takes a jump. Start to bring the arm movement down, not quite as high. And then keep the upper arm close into the body so your elbows stay close in, and just the lower arm goes out. Palms go up when the arms go out, and palms come down to the lap, face down, palms down. Still a little bit of cat-cow movement to the spine. Let that lessen. And then the next time your hands come to the lap, keep them there, palms down on your exhale. And on the inhale, roll the palms up. Exhale, palms down, look down. Inhale, roll the palms up, look up, and you can feel just a little bit of movement to the spine still. And then let the movement of the spine go quieter and quieter, just the palms are moving. And then keep the palms down, next time the palms are down, and lift the index fingers on the inhale. Index fingers lift, exhale, put them back down. Go to the next finger, your middle fingers, lift them up on the inhale. Exhale, put them back down. Ring fingers lift just as much as they can on the inhale. Put them back down. Pinkies. And we're going to do the ring fingers again because those ones are the hardest. Inhale them up. Exhale back down. And then the thumbs are easy too. Back down. Do the ring fingers one more time. Exhale and back down. All right. You're gonna let me show this one. I'll get a little closer. So lift the palm part of the hand up so your fingers stay down, but the palm part of the hand is lifted. And we'll do that same thing of lifting the fingers one at a time. So index fingers lift, should be a little harder, and really get the palm part of your hand lifted. Put them back down on the exhale. Palms lift, middle fingers lift. Exhale, put them back down. And the ring fingers are very difficult here. Ring fingers lift, keep the palms lifting. Exhale, put them back down. And then the pinkies lift, flex across that the hand, and relax the hands back down. So most of the time we're gripping and grabbing things during the day, opening jars and whatnot, typing, mousing, all that is this kind of grabbing, gripping, grasping motion. So we rarely do anything that flexes those fingers back. So that's what all of that was about, to get these muscles on this side contracting to lift your fingers back up so you get good strength and muscle tone in your hands. All right, we're going to do that last one again because I know you love that one. I'm going to turn sideways and show what that looks like from the side. So do the other side where I don't have my watch on. The palm part of the hand is lifted. So here's that white thing is my wrist. So the wrist is lifted high, and then you can see my pinky lifting, and I put it back down. Ring finger, I can't do much. I barely lifts, but the muscles are still working, which is fine. And then put it back down. And then the ring finger lifting and back down. And the index finger lifting and back down. So that's with the wrist trying to stay high. All right. Let me slide back so my head's not cut off. All right. Let's let the fingers twinkle like you're playing the piano really quickly. Catherine Scott can do this. Fingers twinkle and roll the wrists as well. So kind of windshield wipering the wrists as you're going back and forth. And maybe that's not really the piano. All right, roll the wrists around. Opposite direction. All right, roll the wrists around with the hands connected. So it's as though you have your hands palms up, and kind of like you're trying to make your bracelets. You have a bracelet on each side, stay connected, and roll your bracelets along each other until the palms are down. Then keep rolling the bracelets across the back of the hand Flip those palms up underneath you and bring the hands back out like an open book. Then we're going to go in reverse. Scoop the hands in towards you. Roll the back of the wrists around each other so your bracelets connect. Not really, but that's the idea. All right, so a couple of times in each direction. You can do this movement faster or slower. Some people get it all mixed up, and it doesn't matter. Just roll it, moving your wrists around a little bit. All right, and then we'll shake it out. All right, got everything worked. We didn't do the toes today. We'll try to get to those next week if I remember. Let's come back to sitting in the chair. You can slide into the back of the chair if you like for this final relaxation. Make yourself comfortable. So even when you relax in the back of the chair, scoot your hips back so you're still sitting as tall as possible. So you have good posture. Slide the bottom tips of the shoulder blades in toward each other just a little bit more. So it broadens your collarbones away from each other. And then let the shoulders relax down from the shoulders to the elbows, elbows to the fingers. Let your fingers and hands rest however they like on your lap. And then pay attention to the breath at the belly area and into the side ribs and the back body. Just keep some softness there around the waist. And we'll come up above the shoulder blade area into the throat and neck. Feel like the pipes that run down your throat, especially your esophagus, your food pipe, and your trachea, the windpipe. Feel like they're open and hollow. And even the neck, the vertebrae in your neck, has that little tube running down the middle of it, which is your spinal column. Big spinal nerve running down there. Feel like that's open and hollow, and the cerebral spinal fluid flowing through. And then come up to the ears, hollow out the ears from the outside all the way in, like big conch shells. And find the eustachian tubes that run from that ear, the middle ear, down into the throat, and hollow those tubes out. Relax the jaw so the mouth feels hollowed out. Sinuses, nasal passageway. And go down to the lower belly, below the navel, and the hips and the back bowl of the pelvis. And we'll come back up to the eyes, forehead, scalp, top of the head, and down from the hips, down to the feet. Feel like your legs are big hollow tubes. And I feel like your whole body is a big hollow tube. All right, and then you're more than welcome to stay there, relaxing. Otherwise, I'll say thank you for joining me. Namaste, everyone.